this. Anyway, they can't see that anyway. I don't know how to get that off of there. Alright.
So, episode 5.
Yep.
Episode 5, Serial Killer's Last Meals. You bring your what?
Go ahead, talk.
So, in this section, we will be talking about what people's last meals would, if you have something that you would want to say is your last meal, that would be helpful. I hate when she does that with me, serial killers. Okay. So, serial killers' last meals can be anything they really want.
Some states just require them to have just regular meals.
Eileen Wuornos, she was a person of interest last episode. So, Eileen Wuornos was a serial killer. She killed 7 men between 1989 and 1990.
She killed a lot.
She denied a formal last meal, opted for a regular prison meal of a burger and a snack from the canteen instead. She then had a cup of coffee to top it off.
Why don't you put up on that?
Ted Bundy's last meal, since he was also somebody, he was convicted of 30 homicides.
There possibly was more.
Possibly. And so he was served the traditional steak dinner, over-easy eggs, hash browns, toast, milk, coffee, juice, butter, and jelly. However, he did not eat any of his last meal. John Wayne Gacy.
That was another good one.
At least 33 boys he killed and young men. He was a regular performer, children's hospital, charity events, and went by Pogo and Patches. His last meal was a dozen deep fried shrimp, a bucket of KFC's original recipe chicken, fries, and a pound of strawberries at his last meal. That'd be probably something I would go for.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. That's it for that one.
Marion Albert Pruitt. He was given $800. Oh. Let's see. That was for the something else. He had roast duck as his last meal, but opted for Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza, 4 Burger King Whoppers, French fries, fried squash, fried eggplant, fried okra, a whole pecan pie, and 3 2-liter Pepsi bottles.
What was the most expensive death row last meal?
It was $800. This was $800.
Regarding the most expensive final dinner granted, it is likely that Robert Dale Koken's last meal held the distinction in 2005. Koken was scheduled for execution in Georgia. For his final meal, he requested and consumed the following: filet mignon wrapped in bacon. Divine shrimp sauteed in garlic butter with lemon. Baked potato, butter, sour cream, and chives and real bacon bits. Asparagus with hollowized sauce. French bread with butter. Goat cheese. Cantaloupe. And
Wait.
apple pie with vanilla bean ice cream.
Can you hear us now?
Garlic butter with lemon. Baked potato, butter, sour cream, and chives and real bacon bits.
She said, if the sound is so low. I don't know where it's...
Bread with butter, goat cheese, cantaloupe, and apple pie with vanilla bean.
Can you hear us better now?
Can you hear us now?
She said, if the sound is so low. Robert Alton Harris. He was, he requested last meal a 21-piece bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 large Domino's pizzas with no anchovies, a bag of jelly beans, 6-pack of Pepsi, and a pack of Camel cigarettes. That's the way to go. Robert Alton Harris.
James Edward Smith was charged with robbery and murder in March 1983. Authorities say that he requested a lump of dirt as his last meal. According to a website called Murderpedia, Smith explained that he would use it to mark his body so his spirit would move on and not become a ghost. Who has? Are there limits on a last meal? There are on death row. According to the long-standing tradition, on death row, almost everywhere, they can ask for virtual anything they want for dinner the night before their execution, and within reason, they're likely to get it.
Likely.
In California, for example, there's a $50 limit on the inmate's last meal.
Well, Mr. Woods here, Stephen Woods, he requested 2 pounds of bacon, a large 4-meat pizza, 4 fried chicken breasts, chicken fried steak, 2 hamburgers with bacon on French toast, French fries, garlic bread with marinara sauce, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, root beer, sweet tea, and 2 pints of ice cream. He's throwing himself a party.
Well, I can't blame him. Why did Texas stop giving last meals? Texas prison officials stopped the practice of allowing condemned inmates to choose their last meals after a prominent state senator complained about their expensive request from a man executed this week for his role in a notorious dragging
Volume
death.
down on your phone.
I don't have the volume up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must have just been mine. Because I can't mute it, but I can turn down. You said sounds good, no echo. Okay.
Before execution, an inmate may request a last meal. To avoid extravagances, the forced prepared the last meal cannot cost more than $40. It must be purchased locally.
These people, this guy, Thomas Grasso, he strangled an 87-year-old woman with her Christmas tree lights on Christmas Eve. His meal was 2 dozen steamed mussels, 2 dozen steamed clams, a half dozen of barbecue spare ribs, a double cheeseburger from Burger King, half a pumpkin pie with whipped cream and strawberries, 2 strawberry milkshakes, and a 16-ounce can of SpaghettiOs served at room temperature. I would have put that bitch in the freezer. Gave it to him.
Jeffrey Dahmer's last meal. It was a grilled cheese sandwich.
That's it? He should have ate popcorn seeds. That when they fried them, I'd be
Well,
like,
I mean, he did get beat to death in prison, so his last meal was whatever was on the table.
gotcha. That's right, he did.
Prior to his arrest, the media called the killer the Simoleon Heights serial killer. On November 28, 2017, police arrested Donaldson after they handed a pistol in a bag to his manager at the McDonald's where he worked and instructed her to bury the bag without opening it.
Mm.
What serial killer was turned into burgers?
What?
During this time, none of the customers were aware that they were eating a human
That was
hamburger.
Dahmer?
When he needed a special meat, he would kill prostitutes or a tramp. Joe Metheny was finally caught in 1996, when a would-be victim named Rita Kempner managed to escape his clutches and ran straight to the police.
Oh, that was Gacy. Wow. Steven Anderson. He had killed at least 8 victims, including an 81-year-old retired piano teacher named Elizabeth Lyman. He broke into her house, cut her phone line, shot her in the face, and sat down in her kitchen to eat some noodles and fried eggs. His meal was interrupted when the sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene. His last request was 2 grilled cheese, a pint of cottage cheese, a hominy corn mixture, a slice of peach pie, chocolate chip ice cream, and radishes as his last meal.
The history of last meals. The tradition of last meals is originated in ancient Greece, led to spread to Rome, where gladiators would partake in a final feast before facing their grueling expedition in the Colosseum.
This guy, Lawrence Russell Brewer, he did a little dick move. He's from Texas, and he and his associates drive to an isolated area where they beat the victim, tied him to a logging chain, and then they hooked him up to a pickup truck and dragged him to his death. He ordered one of the largest last meals: 2 chicken fried steaks with gravy, a triple meat bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet, fried okra, a pound of barbecue meat, half a loaf of white bread, 3 fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, 3 root beers, peanut butter fudge, and ice cream. Brewer said he wasn't hungry and didn't eat any of his meal when it arrived. Because of his stunt, the state of Texas stopped granting last meal requests. It only takes one.
From last meals to last words, what can death row and prisoners request before they die?
Last words is a good one.
John Henry Ramirez does not want to die alone. The Texas prisoner knows that at his execution, scheduled for Wednesday evening, he will be able to see witnesses through a pane of glass. A sonic prison offers will probably be standing near his head, but Ramirez also wants his Baptist priestess to lay a hand on his head as he dies. In part of his faith, there's so much about the power of touch. Ramirez told the Marshall Project during an interview last week, "You bless someone at the time of their most spiritual need."
Well, Jimmy Glass, 1987 Louisiana, he said, I'd rather be fishing. What is that? He knows what he wants. Jeffrey David Matthews, 2011 Oklahoma. I think that the governor's phone is broke. He hadn't called yet. That was his last words. Wow. Barbara Graham. You don't see many women ones. 1955 in California. Good people are always sure they're right. What are you doing? George Appel, 1928 in New York. Well, gentlemen, you're about to see a baked apple. A baked Appel. Oh, that's funny. He killed a police officer. James Lewis Jackson, 2007 in Texas. His last words were, Warden, murder me. I'm ready to roll. Time to get this party started.
17th most extravagant last meals on death row. It seems eerie. Oscar Ray Bolin Jr. Bolin Jr., a serial killer who was 53 at the time of his death, chose to go all out with his final meal. According to CBS News, which chronicled his last, he ordered a ribeye steak, cooked medium rare, a baked potato that had both butter and sour cream, a salad that included tomato cucumber on top, garlic bread, and a bottle of Coca-Cola.
What does this look like? But don't say it out loud. No.
Earl Forrest. Forrest was involved in a drug dispute that later ended up bringing him 11 years on death row. Before his execution, he chose to eat pasta, steak, tomatoes, cucumbers, and a side of fruit, and a piece of chocolate cake. He washed that down with a glass of milk. Lawrence Russell Brewer. Texas stopped offering last meals. According to The Guardian, he ordered 2 chicken fried steaks, fried okra, a bacon cheeseburger with triple the meat, 3 fajitas, a pound of that's the one you just read. And he didn't eat any of it. He wasted it all.
Well, of course. Johnny Frank Garrett, 1992 in Texas. He'd like to say, I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me, and the rest of the world can kiss my ass.
Ronnie Lee Gardner, who was on death row for murder, didn't necessarily have the stranger's request. He ordered a lobster surf and turf with apple pie of vanilla ice cream for dessert and followed up by a 7-Up. He requested to eat his fancy dish after fasting for 48 hours while he enjoyed a show of the Lord of the Rings films. You know how long Lord of the Rings
Very
is?
long.
He put his execution off forever.
It's kind of like watching the Titanic. Who's this guy here? This guy here has some true words here. Robert Alton Harris, 1992, California. His last words, you can be a king or a street sweeper, but everyone dances with the Grim Reaper. Got that.
Daniel Anthony Lucas. Lucas was definitely big when it came to his final selections. Might as well. He was on death row for 16 years after murdering a family after a home burglary attempt. He ate a steak and cheese calzone, a pizza topped with meat, a stuffed portobello mushroom, and a chef salad that incorporated both honey mustard and ranch dressing. turning it into two separate salads, practically. To drink, he enjoyed orange juice. Sounds like a strange selection to go with pizza, but meh. Hey, that's his request. John Wayne Connor. Connor was a prisoner after a drunken argument which took a deadly turn. His meal choices were more or less doubled before his execution. Connor ordered 10 hush puppies, 10 pieces of fried catfish, 2 triple deluxe hamburgers with bacon added on a side, a raw onion, perhaps for the burgers, and 2 pints of vanilla ice cream. It's not clear if he managed to finish it all. Your turn.
Let's see. Thomas J. Grasso, 1995, Oklahoma. I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this. I don't think they care.
Probably not after you kill a bunch of people. Stephen Woods' Last Supper book reports the meal requested by Stephen Woods, who was executed in 2011, was odd for one specific reason. All along, he claimed to be a vegetarian, but his order included a large pizza topped with every meat you could think of: fried chicken, garlic bread, sticks, chicken, fried steak, hamburger topped with bacon, ice cream, and pretty much all the soft drinks. Seriously, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, root beer, and sweet tea were all present. Dennis Bagwell. Bagwell killed members of his family during a home invasion and was executed in 2005. His last meal request included a medium rare steak served with A1 sauce, 3 fried chicken thighs and a breast, French fries, 2 deluxe hamburgers, ribs, onion rings, and a side salad with ranch. And that's not all. He also got a bunch of breakfast foods, including a dozen eggs scrambled with onions, a pound of fried bacon, fried taters, peach pie, coffee, and iced tea.
You know, it's a good question. Do death row people actually get medical care?
My question is, how long do you have to eat all that?
There's people on death row like 20 years. Look at Scott Peterson. He's been there a long time. I know they try to keep him alive so they can do the death row, but
So what would your last meal be? I'm gonna go pee. Yep. If you had to pick one.
hold on. I'll think about this for a second. Do any of you guys know what yours would be? Post it now. I'm really not for sure what mine would be. That's a really good question. I guess I'd have like 20 years to think about it. I want to say... What would my limit be?
Well, some states say $50.
Okay, well I'm gonna see what the state of Ohio's limit is, and then I can tell you. What's... Oh. So it would be served at 4 p.m. the day prior.
Okay.
That doesn't help me out here. I want to know how much I would have.
Your budget for Ohio.
What is... Okay.
The budget for...
I'll just put that in. $25. Oh, that's Florida. I said Ohio, and it puts Florida. Okay, here we go. Ohio doesn't really have one.
So then you could probably order whatever you want. But do they have a death penalty in Ohio?
As far as I know, they do. Okay. I'm almost positive Ohio does. Ohio has executed 56 people in the modern death penalty era, placing an 8th overall number of executions in the United States. Governor DeWine issued a reprieve of Keith Lamar, postponing the original November 16, 2023 execution date to January 13, 2027. So, yep, they do. There are 122 inmates currently on death row in Ohio. Loki! Out of there. So what would your last meal be? I know it has to do with alcohol.
Oh, for sure I'm getting a beer. I don't even know. I might even do cameras off.
Shit. I wonder how long that was off for. No, it should have been too long.
I don't even know. I'd probably do a tall shot of moonshine.
Hang on. Okay. What would be your last meal again?
A tall shot of moonshine for sure. Because that's sipping liquor.
That's you want to savor is what you want to do.
Right. And then they said that, dude had to watch The Lord of the Rings to postpone his execution. So, might as well watch The Lord of the Rings.
No. No Lord of the Rings. You can watch Titanic. That's a long movie.
Oh, the whole Twilight Saga.
Oh, yeah. No, well, let's see. Longest movie.
Longest saga.
Oh, that's easy. Anime.
Right, because we could be stuck on Naruto for 5 years.
Let's see what the longest movie is. Longest movie. The Cure for Insomnia. That's... It doesn't say. Okay, I'll do this. What are the... Oh, are there any 5-hour movies? Happy Hour is 5 hours. I haven't heard of any of these. Can a movie be 7 hours long? Santiago is a Satan Tango. Satango? is a 7-hour and 30-minute
San
film.
and Tango.
It focuses on a small village after the collapse of their collective farm.
Well, I guess I'll watch that. And then I'm gonna get me a steak.
You know what I would do? I'd watch Titanic 5 times.
But for my dessert, I want an official Amsterdam German chocolate cake, bitch.
I think now personally, I think I would probably
Nah,
just
numb my pain while I'm going out. I'll look
listen.
at all them motherfuckers hiding.
I would. The only way I'd be able to eat a lot is if they let me have like a couple of like joints,
That's what the German
Just to-
chocolate cake's for.
just to ease my body, so I can kind of like zen, and then just random things like a peach pie with whipped cream, maybe some crawfish with garlic butter.
Yeah, and I want some shrimp on top of my little steak.
Oh, lobster. Lots of lobster. Lots of lobster. Crab legs.
Mmm.
Yes, I'd have a very big... They'd have to give me like a $900 meal. I'd have to ask for like a 24-pack of Pepsi. At least to hold me until I die.
I mean, if we were asking for whole packs,
I want some popcorn seeds.
I need 24-pack of beer.
Not popped, because if I'm going to be fried, I want to make sure them things pop.
When the last beer's gone, I don't even care if they execute me at that point.
They should execute you with a beer in your hand. As soon as you're drinking it, that's when they should fry it.
That might work for me.
And you like put it through my veins.
Do it! Do it real good.
I would, though. I'd ask for some kind of marijuana just to smoke, just to take the edge off, knowing that this is going to be my last peaceful day on Earth. So that way I could just watch my Titanic movie like 4 or 5 times and just do that and eat. Like, I would just be in my zone. I would totally be in my zone. A case of Red Bull.
Who said that?
Katrina.
Red Bull may give you wings. I don't think you're flying out into the death.
She's like, what's up? Oh, is it echoing?
Oh no.
Oh, my mic fell. Whoops. Is it echoing now?
You have it too close to the laptop.
Is that it?
That's what he said last time.
Oops.
So move it back on. Yeah.
I'll put it over here. There we go. Is that better?
That ain't me.
That was me.
So nobody has an input for like what their last meal would be?
Let me see here.
Okay, well, that's dead.
No, it's not. We're
So
not
the
dead
next
yet.
podcast, what are we going to be doing? What are we talking about?
The next podcast we're going to do is if you could get into somebody's head, like even if it's like your kid's head, to see what's going on in there, if you can get into somebody's head, who would it be, and what do you think the experience would be if they eventually like, got into our head? Like, you know, kind of like Freaky Friday where you switch yourself. Honestly, let's get into a kid's head because I got the mind of me with a young body, so I could just go like do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, so you want to switch bodies?
No, you can switch minds, but I'm just saying, if we were to switch bodies, that would be cool too because I'd have my mind and my knowledge, which isn't a lot. We could just do that.
Shit. You don't even want to know what I would do if I could switch with bodies.
Katrina says hers would be a big bottle of something.
To drink, Katrina?
Crab legs and a big bottle of, and it didn't say what else.
Like, I said I'd probably get me some sipping liquor because I would want a big old bottle of like.
You want to take any marijuana?
No, because by the time I finish the moonshine, Angie, are they gonna be trying to lead me down to the execution lane? I'll be like,
You're gonna be passed out anyway.
blah, blah. Okay, put me on the table. Oh, injections? That's cool.
It wouldn't even be no fun. You couldn't even. You'll have to give your last words while you're drinking that.
Fuck you and fuck you for putting me here.
What would be your last words?
Fuck you and fuck you for putting me
If you
here.
were Jeffrey Dahmer and they said, tell the family what the last words would be.
I ain't got the stomach to be Jeffrey Dahmer. I seen some stuff.
Okay, Eileen Warhorse.
Oh yeah, for sure. He wanna be touching up on me, bitch? Bop bop. Got you.
That's your last words?
While I'm drinking away on my little whatever, how much of moonshine. Yep.
I think I'd ask the request to still have my joint while being hooked up, and I just blow it all around. There was a guy one time. This is a true story. There's been people that's actually survived their death row. They had to let them go because they did it twice, and they still survived. But there was a guy who was a big dude, and they had the tourniquet on him and stuff, and they had everything ready to go, and they were putting the stuff all through his veins and stuff, and it didn't take. The dude broke the straps and jumped out off the table, and he was banging on the window like this, and he's like, ha ha bitches, ha ha bitches. He's like, I didn't die, and then he's like, if they let me out here, I'll kill again. Well, I guess the doctor took the tourniquet off, and then, like, a couple seconds later, he died. He forgot to put all the tourniquets. Oh, that would be horrible. Can you imagine the family sitting there thinking he's going to die, and he jumps up like, I didn't die?
And then as soon as you release the tourniquet, it
Yeah,
stopped
the doctor-
all the injections.
Yeah. They forgot to pull the tourniquet, and the doctor pulled the tourniquet, and it was a few seconds later, and that dude was gone. His big old body hit the floor. I don't know. If you were on death row, would it scare you?
Would it scare me?
Now I hear that they have to give the inmate like Ativan like 24/7, like the whole like round the clock until like a couple days before it, so that way they stay chill. I wonder how true that is.
I mean, I'd probably be anxious knowing that my death day's coming.
Isn't that crazy that they can put a death date on you and be like, this is the day and the exact time you're gonna die?
Exactly. That might make me anxious.
I think I would off myself right before it happened so everybody would get there and then that would be it. I sure would.
You sure did get fucked, huh? You came to see a show? Oh, wow.
I don't even know it, but like, ha ha. Joke's on you.
You thought you knew my death day and time.
Internet, where I would play like I was really sick and shit, so that way I had to go in the hospital, then they had to reschedule it again.
I told you, I'm watching a long-ass movie. Y'all gonna be waiting for me.
Well, they do a mental evaluation on you, too.
So they can watch and wait for me out the doors.
Well, I'm like, I don't think I'm mentally ready to die yet. Let's try again tomorrow. I wonder if that would work.
I doubt it.
Did you ever see Bundy when he died at the end? It shows what they do. They stick cotton balls up your ass, and then they put a diaper on you, because that way you don't shit everywhere. Because everything lets go.
Could you imagine?
They showed them sticking it up his ass too. They were taking like big handfuls of Vaseline and just shoving it up there, shoving cotton things up there, Vaseline, cotton balls.
Could you imagine being back in the Green Mile days?
That was based on a true story.
I know.
And that kid was told, they found out like what, years later, that he was innocent.
I think you're allowed to pick your execution at that too.
I don't know, because some places they give you the choice of um, the electric chair, firing squad, or
Lethal injection.
yeah, lethal injection.
Hanging was a long thing for a minute, but then it got outruled and blah blah blah. If I had a choice, I think I'd rather go by hanging.
Uh, no, because what happens if
My neck don't break.
yeah, and then you're like a paraplegic or something, or a quad or something. Like what
Once
if?
again, that rounds back to the ha ha.
Yeah, but haha on you, they have to take care of you so they could treat you like total crap if they wanted to.
Okay.
So you could live like that for like 30 years. And you'd be all like this and shit, and there's nothing you could do about it. They could, because all the people knew what you did to their family or townsmen people or something. So of course they're not gonna, unless they send you out of state or something.
I mean, as much as people get flexed at as nurses for any kind of bodily harm, I doubt anybody would fuck with my body because I'd be like,
Well, I'm already in the stage. Just do what you want. There ain't nothing I can do now.
right. So, I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's on them. That's their conscience at the end of the day.
Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
If something happened at Jeffrey Dahmer, like, say he survived all that and then he was like a paraplegic and he came to, you had to take care of him. Would you take care of him? Or would you be, knowing what he did? Would you take care of him like what you're supposed to do? Or would you take care of him like, you know what, fuck you, I'll just do the minimal amount?
Probably the bare minimum if I knew what he did.
Because they said, well, we have a death row inmate here. He's going to be living here now because of this, and this, and he got messed up, and now he can't move or talk or nothing. Bare minimum?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just asking because some people be like, you know what? It's my job. I have to do whatever.
And some people feel like that. Some people feel like it is what it is. But for me, I'd probably still have hard feelings. Just because I'd be like...
Well, yeah, because you got a picture. What if he did something to your family and then he got there and you had to take care of him?
Right,
You
so
better believe.
that's where my head would instantly probably go. All the time. Like... I want to give the best care I can, but...
Katrina said, feed him my neighbor.
Don't worry, Katrina. We're going to cook him up real good. No, I'd probably feed him his own leg.
You feed him his own leg.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer. I'd keep his meal trays away
You're
from
like,
him.
he has a stage 4 on his leg. Here, let me help you with that.
Right.
Let me clean off the edges here.
Let me just...
Did you want a snack? Oh, your puree. Okay, we could take care of that.
Oh, isn't this what you did anyway?
Loki's like, what are we talking about here? Oh, well. Yeah.
So nobody has any comments?
Katrina, do you have any comments? Concerns? That's what that was because that was too close. Any comments, concerns? Anything else you want to say?
I think that's a wrap for tonight, Angie.
Everything's always a wrap for us. We haven't even been on that long.
How long have we been on?
I don't know. This hasn't even been an hour. Because that only stopped once and that stops every half hour.
Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to...
I wonder what some of these kids, these serial killers like when they were kids. Did they have like a really good childhood, and then they just turned out this way, or did they have a look at the who are the brothers that killed their parents?
Oh, shit. I don't even remember. Oh. Santiago brothers?
No. It was, the movie was just on not that long ago.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Brothers.
Not much.
We're doing the podcast.
You're what? Doing the
We're
podcast?
we're on live right now, Kelly. Just so you know,
Oh,
you know, for talking purposes. Oh, the Menendez brothers.
Yes, they killed their
They
parents.
had like
another good topic.
they,
That's like a fucked up.
but they're saying they're trying to use the thing. They're saying, oh, we were raped when we were younger. That's why we did what we did. But I don't think that's it. I think the parents just kind of pushed them. They wanted them to do this and try to, you know.
I think they were strict. The parents were strict. Like the father was an asshole, and the mother was just like, do whatever the father said. But you know.
And that's it, too.
I don't think there was that. Like.
There was no sexual involved. They just wanted to use that as a escape thing so they could try to get off.
Right. Because, like, there was, if I remember right, I don't think there was any, like, proof or whatever you want to say of being raped.
No, but after they
Like,
killed
no.
them, though, instead of like mourning and try to get things in control, they were out spending that money buying new
Oh,
cars
yeah,
and
they were partying the night
Rolexes
that they killed them.
Yeah.
Like, maliciously killed them.
yeah, they were buying all kinds of stuff,
Were,
Rolexes
like,
and
super materialistic.
yeah, yep.
So they probably just wanted, the father was probably like cutting them off, sort of. They wanted the money to do whatever the fuck they wanted.
And they had lots of it to do. And they had the
Yeah,
whole house.
It was bad how they murdered them too. It was like brutal. Not just like, oh, here's a gunshot to the head or the heart. No, they like mutilated.
They
their
overkilled.
Oh, yeah, overkill. Yeah. Yep. That's a good word for it.
Like lines going right there.
Yeah, that's another good topic. You
That
know that, like, they actually, I think they both, or one, got married. Somebody actually married them.
well, somebody married some of the other ones. Like who was it? Charles Manson had a kid. Ted Bundy had a kid when he was in there.
Really?
Yeah, Ted
Oh, I
Bundy's
didn't know
wife.
that.
She met him up in the prison and had a.
They paid the guards to
Yeah, let
cover
him-
it so they could do it.
over at the snack machine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I did not know that. Who was that? Manson?
No, that was Ted Bundy.
Manson has a son, and Ted Bundy has a girl.
Wow.
Dahmer
yeah,
has
this
nothing.
shit,
Dahmer has
like,
nothing.
The killers are like, that is a really interesting topic. I wonder whatever happened to that John Wayne Gacy.
He died.
He is. Oh, he did?
Yeah, he executed him. They executed him.
He is, in history, as much as there's been, like, horrible, heinous, disgusting crimes,
Well, yeah, because he was a clown too, you know.
John Wayne Gacy is in history to this day the most convicted murderers of all time.
They're
Like,
one of
It's
those.
like 23 murders he was convicted of. That doesn't mean he didn't do more. That doesn't mean other people didn't do more. But he was convicted of 23.
One of
He was
those
like 21,
shows.
23.
I forgot what it was called. You know, like Fear Thy Neighbor or something like that. He was on one of those shows, and his sister was talking about him when he was younger, all the way up until all that happened.
Yeah, like he was a priest at his local church. He was a cop.
Yeah, he fit right into
was-
society.
Isn't that fucked up that somebody can not, seem obvious in their criminal mind? You know what I mean? People were saying there was like no red flags. He was the typical all-American husband, father. Yeah, that's what disturbs me about, serial killers and shit, is that most of them, there's nothing, like, they play the part of a complete normal person.
So if I ended up being a serial killer, you would be like, I would have never have thought.
Right.
Compared
have
to
to
me, who
put
you'd
that on
be
my bucket
like,
list.
maybe.
Yeah, like the way I talk and shit, it's like, yeah, she's probably capable. So
Right.
yeah,
So Angie's like,
I'll put on my bucket
never
list.
in your life. And
we're
then we're.
probably the least people to ever do anything, but it sounds like we would.
Okay, so you're saying I would never do anything like crazy.
If you had to. I mean, but like for the shits and giggles of it, like what all these people have done, that would never happen. You know what I mean? We're not that kind of people.
As far as we know, we're not. You know, you never know though. Somebody could get pushed to the point that they snap, and you would never think about it.
I don't believe in snapping.
You don't think that somebody can be pushed to their limit that they would snap?
Kind of, like brewing anger, and there has to be. There's something not wired right, but I don't know. Well, maybe people can snap, but you know,
I'm
if
saying.
you are the kind of person that doesn't believe in hurting people for shits and giggles, I mean, then you know, I don't believe you could snap.
Yeah, but anybody can snap at any time for any reason, though. Like you can be pushed to the certain point that you just can't do it no more, and you could snap and just go
If
off
you're
on somebody.
being abused or something, I could see that.
Not
You
even
know,
that.
being abused.
You
But
could
some of
push,
these murders are just like.
but everybody has that ability to snap. They just haven't reached that point yet.
What you're saying. Yeah.
Like if you push me to my absolute limit, of course I would snap.
I could not imagine like doing this for like entertainment purposes. You know, eating people. You know.
We'll be eating you. That'll be our license plate.
I'll be eating
Wow.
Oh, is that what it was? I'll be eating you?
you. I think it's like we'll be eating you.
That was the
Well,
license plate
you
on
don't pertain to that,
Jeepers
to that
Creepers.
comment there.
I should get that license plate, huh?
No, you need to get one that says Tiny of the Caps. I gotta get Junior Meg, and she's gonna get Kel's Bells.
Both.
Huh?
Kate.
So how bad, Christina? How bad was last night?
Live.
We're on live, Kelly, or I'd say.
Oh, you are now. Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you guys go. But,
No.
It wasn't too bad last night. We only had an earthquake one time.
Meet me later, Kelly.
There was an earthquake? Oh, you mean that one lady on D-Wing fell? You know, Carmi.
Hey. Careful.
Oh, was that the
Hey,
earthquake
hey.
when she-
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so lucky I took it off speakerphone.
Well, people when they get on the swings, they do fall. You know those Segway swings or whatever? I know.
No, you're off speakerphone now.
The Segway swings, yes. You're right on that. And that was on YouTube
Yeah.
when she fell.
She wasn't over there.
Katrina says women have snapped on their periods and got away with temporary insanity, which I believe that's possible, because all your emotions are running high.
Like, get off, or like, you know, sort of get off. I mean, I'm sure they go to a mental institution or some shit on insanity. Clearly, you're fucking insane if you're gonna do some type of shit that's
Just
like
get
that.
ready.
It's the whole
Keep your
thing
finger
of
on that.
controlling your emotions. And if you can't, then you should be, you know, just executed. If there is beyond a shadow of a doubt, because a lot of these murderers end up just admitting to it. You know what I mean?
Well, you might as well, if you're going to death row, you might as well admit what you did.
Just executed. Of course you're insane, because you would have to be to do some shit like that. You know what's another situation of topic? Have you guys heard of that? I didn't even know about it. It happened in 2018, I think, in Colorado. The Watts case. It was on Netflix.
Chris Watts?
What?
Chris Watts.
Yes, yes.
He
that is his
killed.
first name.
Do you know? Do you know he thought he killed his daughters and he didn't, and they came to in the back seat, and then he ended up strangling the one, and the other daughter
Yeah.
goes, "Daddy, you're gonna do that to me?" He's like, "Yes."
He actually, like, the kid had, like, a sheet or something as he was carrying her to this drone. Oil drone.
Yep.
Okay. And had a sheet over. And he said in his confession, she wasn't even like, oh God, this gives me the chills. She wasn't even like crying. Like, in her mind, that's my daddy. How could he do anything wrong to me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
She had no clue in hell, but she was like, Daddy, Daddy. And she had no clue. He had a sheet over her body, over her head and stuff. And she didn't even squirm. She had no clue that there was danger. Like she probably thought she was going to a surprise party.
Well, they thought they thought their mom was sleeping on the floor back there.
Yeah, and she was dead right
Yep.
at their feet. Right at their feet.
Yeah.
And, he drove an hour to, take that dead body plus the children.
The
to
children
that
were alive the whole time.
And he had an hour to rethink that, and he still did it. And how he really got caught, his first two, moves right after he did that was he called that girlfriend or texted whatever, and was like something like we could be together now or something like that.
Well, his
He
neighbor got it
called
caught.
the school.
His neighbor
He
caught
called the
him.
school to unenroll them.
Yeah. Well, his neighbor caught him on camera too, loading his truck, and he's like, he never loads his truck at 5:00 in the morning.
Right. And that neighbor, knew something was off with him from the jump. That shit is crazy.
That's another
And you
good
can
movie
just
too.
Jump your kids in the ultimate. Can you imagine drowning on oil? Drowning on oil. What?
Well, no. He killed him before he put him in there.
No, he didn't.
Not the girls.
He just
Not
threw
the
him in there.
girls. No.
I thought he said
wife
he
was
strangled
already
them.
killed.
Not the girls. One of them.
Oh,
So-
was it? I didn't think it was either one. Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that, but
I think one of
yeah,
them.
because they were or at least okay, maybe one he killed before, but the one I know was talking to him, Daddy, Daddy, as he was walking with her,
Who was the one that drowned her two boys and then let them go in the car, drowned the two? Hold on.
Oh yeah, that's fuck.
I'll look that up. Hold on.
My tongue. When I was in jail for my DUI, back when I was 18, when I had that DUI, I specifically remember there was a inmate there that was waiting to be transferred, obviously, to a, maximum security prison. But she boiled her babies, two babies. And it was a white woman with red hair. I can remember what she looked like. She looked like the typical, stay-at-home mom, yeah, this red curly hair. I don't know. I'm not saying anybody. The look of somebody has nothing to do with nothing.
But she ended up
I
getting.
still remember what she looked like.
She got temporary insanity, and then she had to stay in a mental institution for her whole life. Susan Smith.
Susan Smith. Yep.
Yeah, she only had to do she killed her 3-year-old son Michael and 14-month-old Alexander.
And
she
that
said,
was for a guy too,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yep, because he didn't want to have any kids.
And I think that situation, that one movie, was based on. I can't remember. Remember that movie? It was holy shit, heartfelt as fuck, and it was. I think Farrah Fawcett played the mother.
One lady, she took her kids out on the road and hurt them or something, shot them with a gun, shot herself with a gun, but one kid lived. 2 kids lived or something.
Wow.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
and then I saw this situation on TikTok there was this doctor, they were both, whatever, Middle Eastern, in California. He was rich. He was I don't know, some kind of, he was a big time doctor. There is a cliff in California called um, Devil's Devil's Dive or something.
Devil's
like that.
Reject?
Devil's Cliff. Devil's what?
I'm just kidding.
She's fucking with you, Callie.
Devil's Cliff or something like that. It's a 300-foot drop, and there's like really no way to like. It's just a terrible place to drive. Nobody wants to drive that. Witnesses say he gunned it. They had a sports vehicle that him and the wife and the 2 kids were driving in, and witnesses say the people behind him or whatever, he just all of a sudden gunned it. Just put his pedal to the metal, and they survived. They went over that cliff 300 feet, and they all survived.
Diane Downs.
Huh?
Diane Downs.
What was she?
She was the one that took her kids for a car ride and shot all of her kids, and then shot herself and said that they were robbed or whatever. And the one kid ended up surviving, but he was like a paraplegic or something. And then I guess the lawyer ended up adopting him.
Wow.
I think Danny
Wow.
Danny was a 3-year-old. I think he was the one that survived.
Damn. It's so hard to wrap your mind around how. So, like my idea of snapping is like, I'll just like bitch somebody out or something. I cannot imagine snapping to that point of any of this. Wow. It's the craziest shit ever.
Christy and Danny were clinging to life. Okay. So
And
one
then
died
think
and the
about
other
all
two
the,
survived.
molestation cases and rape of children is like you should just be your
Where
dick
he's
chopped
laying.
off so that you could never do
Where
that
he's
again.
laying.
No, I see him.
I don't know how anybody could look at, anybody. Okay, I mean, I understand girls when they're in their teens. I don't understand, but I'm just saying.
Harold Shipman.
Like, they might dress a little slutty or whatever.
Sorry.
But, like,
You're
a child. How do you fuck with a child? You have done taken their innocence. I'm sure very few people live a good life after some shit like that happens. Or, you know what I mean? It's, like, very hard. Even with therapy or whatever, it is probably the worst thing to get past.
Harold Shipman, he was known as Dr. Death.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know.
He,
Damn, I mean, it's
Britain's
just-
most prolific serial killer, used massive doses of dimorphine to kill his victims. The public inquiry into his patient's death.
You know what was funny? The other day, I was, sitting on D-Wing, I was sitting outside of the aid station, because
He
I don't
hung
like
himself.
that claustrophobic feeling. And I'm not even claustrophobic, but... So that one guy, Gary...
Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's if you put it through the butthole.
Kelly being bad again?
Yes. Okay.
Kelly. HIPAA, bitch. HIPAA.
We're still alive. Harold Shipman, he got death row, but he died by suicide by hanging himself in his cell.
Because Angie wanted to hear you for a minute. Right, so what do you want me to do? Right, she said she was talking about a show while you're being all mean to her.
I know. I got it.
assumed.
You always assume.
She was being mean to you.
Was not. I'm doing like 3 things at once over here.
Oh, shut up, Kelly. Bitch. See, this is why we put her back on speaker. Back on speaker, there you go. Alright, Kelly.
Alright, I'll let you go.
No, we're coming to the end of the conclusion. Are you going to meet me and Angie at my mom's?
Yeah.
We can meet you at your house.
I have to have my stuff.
I can take you to your house and go to
Are
hers.
we moking?
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get to Angie right now
gotcha,
without
gotcha.
trying to...
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you worked today.
Me?
I told you that bitch wasn't there.
Oh.
There's no overtime. And plus, I mean, usually after 4 in a row, I'll take 2 off.
There's no overtime, but tell me why they're running 3-3. Never mind, we ain't gonna talk about that right here.
Right.
Angie, stop the
I would
session.
pick up tomorrow night.
All right. This concludes
Hold on, Kelly.
today's session. We will
Exactly.
continue on with next week's live.
Hold on, let me.
Not next week,
stop
sorry.
the podcast.
Not next week's live. It'll be we do it whatever.
So every other Tuesday.
So it won't be next Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday after, and we will
yes, and we have a special guest coming on the show.
do. Yes, we do.
And she wants to talk about changing bodies with somebody else.
Changing minds, like jump into
Changing
people's
minds.
minds. Like, what if I were to jump into your mind? What if you were to jump in my head?
You don't want to come in my brain.
I might get high, then I'll go in there.
You might never find your way out. It's like trying to fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
You know what I think would be a good topic is like, how do you, what you want to change about life, you know, whatever that may be, like, how do people go about doing that? And maybe that would open up people to call in, or I say call in because I'm old, so I'm thinking, you know, way back, people type in, whatever you want to say now. Okay, like, how would you go about changing your life? Like, where are some starting points? Like, if you're not happy at all, if you're not even content with your life, how do you go about, you know, making changes? You know, and some tips and pointers might help us or a lot of people.
So there's that too.
You know what I mean? Like, if, okay, like, say, I've been lonely as fuck lately. And, you know, like, I don't want to do this life on my own. You know, I haven't had a boyfriend or been in a
Oh,
relationship
yep.
for 8
All right,
years.
you guys all have a good night.